structures that are basically just bedrooms.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot at all, you're doing a
Yep.
great job, by the way.
So,
for having such vaguely shoved in front of you. Then, so police and fire protection also then as far as fire hydrants and number of a small community within their domain at this church but again, there'll be some regulations and stipulations that the planning and zoning will have say something like we do with towns. I mean, there's a lot of processes here. They make it sound pretty easy. Here we go.
yeah, so, it isn't exactly clear at this time what the planning and zoning overview will be able to be of the establishment of one of these communities. Because basically they are allowed as of right from the state legislature. So,
But the state won't have anything to say about it. It comes to our community and we have to deal with it. We did a great job, but I'm not impressed for the.
I'll know more when we talk about it more, in December, January.
It doesn't come to fruition, so. Thank you, that's all. Thank you.
So I know we're just, this is about the agreement things as well. Is this happening anywhere else in the country where we can kind of take a look to see what's potentially happening in Minnesota?
So there are a couple of communities that are in Minnesota right now that are being established. I believe one is in Roseville and one's in Minneapolis. There might be a couple others. I don't know if Cater Days, you know, but those are two that I know of. I don't remember the name of the community that they're associated with, but I can send that to you. But basically they started the implementation of constructing one of these, and then it was kind of fighting through the city process, and they lobbied the state, and then the state said, like, yes, you are allowed to do this as a religious institution, and the protections as your laying as a religious institution.
And then the other question on this is for the water rates. I took a look at it, and the fee isn't a large increase, but it's an increase. Is there a way to carve that out and have a separate conversation? And all of these need to be discussed, obviously. But I have a concern with increasing water rates again. I've received 2 calls from constituents, and they were both about water. So that is, and I know that this is conversations that have happened in the past that I wasn't a part of. But is it really necessary to raise the water rates again, or on top of what they already are?
So I can touch base a little bit on that, or I can go to Darcy for more. Basically, what we ended up doing was we got in, myself and Rob got in, as well as Mayor Feldman. Basically, because people were going to increase it to 85, whatever it was. We were able to lower them about 20%, but by doing that, we also had to kind of stick it out some of our listeners to do that. Is that a risk? Getting to do that kind of soft flow. And we were told at that time that about 2023 we were going to increase it, I think roughly 3% or something along those lines. Darcy can clarify that. But it was one of those things that it was like, can we give some benefit at this time? In order to do that, we did that, but it also kind of hurt us as far as our budget when it comes to maintaining place that we do. So if we don't increase it, we're going to end up being harder than we do that because we don't have the money there to supply to fix the problems that come. So it's not a great scenario. It was a risk that we were taking, and we were willing to take it to soften the blow. That's kind of my gist of it. I don't know if there's much to add anything to that.
Well, and this was actually approved, council did approve a 2-step rate increase. Yeah. It was fall of 21, because the first step went in the beginning of 22. No, sorry, fall of 22, because the first step went in the beginning of 23. And now this is the second step that they had officially approved. It just wasn't put in the fee schedule. So that's where we had to put it in there. And this is all based on cash flow, looking ahead to what our debt service is, what we expect, for like salaries, where they go and everything else. You know, so all of that was done back then. The one thing is when we got to we had to do that 85-45, it was because they hadn't raised rates over several years. And I know council all said they would rather do small incremental rates than wait till we hit a really hard spot and have to do a huge rate increase again. So that's why we brought it forward at the small increase that we did.
Okay, so this was already basically essentially voted on and approved in fall 22. The first rate increase was effective at the beginning of the year, and this will go into effect at the beginning of that, or the beginning of that.
We'll be beginning in 24.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and if you want to, I can get you, we can go back and find those recession habits and stuff. And then another thing is even the long range plan that we did, April, May, when we did that, that was based on the rates being where we are setting them.
Yeah, I had some questions about it a little bit earlier and got some clarification around some of the things. I just, you know, after following up with the lady today about the water rates, it was just something that I thought I would ask you for anyway. You know, we could not do that one, but it sounds like that's already in progress.
Yeah, that's another situation, I think, in general. I think we had to vote on it, you know, we're like, great, that's not what we wanted, but yeah, that might have fixed things too.
And when we gave the 20%, I think it was a 20% decrease several years ago. we-
I agree.
Okay. We did set where our minimum cash balance was at, and we need to, I watch that. I watch that our cash balance is not going below a certain amount, because we don't want to get to that point. Because I think there, like I said, we have some big bond payments that are coming due in the next few years. Right. This year.
That was it.
Right. Reading over these, I just want our residents to understand a lot of parts of the fee schedule. We set the fee schedule to recoup staff time. These are not just numbers that are pulled out of the air for different types of fees. My question that I had was about stormwater. It's going to $6 a month or $72 a year with the late fee applied July 1st. So are we doing a $10 late fee or have we done a $10 late fee? And if it's not paid by the end of the year, we're going to do the 10% on top of that. Okay. So I just want our residents to understand what the stormwater rate possibly could be to them by not paying it. So pay your stormwater on time or pay an extra $16, it looks like to me per year, so that's all I had.
I think too, it's the increased cost of materials and everything on top of that. That's why we have to look at those increases too. Like you say, it's not to make money or credit rich here, it's to, cover the cost of things. We have a lot of big projects that we've been taking care of and have taken care of in the past. Riverbank is a big proponent of that, or a big beneficiary, I guess you can call it. Sarah? Oh, sorry.
When they just want to interest. One of the problems that I have with people not paying their stormwater is that we send out multiple notices, which cost the city stamps, envelopes, staff time, to remind. It's just frustrating, for me to spend money to tell people to pay their stormwater, and then they complain that we're spending tax dollars, the way they don't expect us to, or what have you. I'm trying to save the city money. So pay your stormwater, that way we don't have to send out more city dollars to remind people 2 or 3 times a year to get their stormwater fee. So,
Mr. Mayor, I would like to say, we cut down our mailings to 2. We send out the original one, and we send one out. Then in September, what we've done is we've incorporated the special assessment notice into that. Saying you haven't paid, so we cut that down to 2.
I don't want to, I'm an advocate for putting that money somewhere else. If we just do it in taxes, everyone knows they gotta pay it. It's just a discussion that I would like to see. Put all the money into the general fund and then take out what stormwater would have collected, if that makes sense.
You can tax for it, but I think it has to go into the dedicated account or something. There's something weird.
Right.
You could put it on taxes, though, too, that's an option.
Put it in the taxes and then just pull it out of the general fund and put it into the account based on what that effect value would have been. So, just to eliminate all that extra dollars, that's just my opinion. That's it.
Sure.
The only question I had was my agreement inspection on what's good to do.
All here, I mean,
Yeah, but
Kirk, we asked this, we might have seen this during one of our work sessions. You check in with communities or communities similar in size and give us the water costs or charges for other communities, what they charge. Do you have that? It was one of the time, like, any community nearby.
The water and sewer?
Yeah.
I did it in the long range plan. I had looked up water rates on other communities.
Could you snapshot that and send out to us again?
I'm pretty sure I had that as part of the long range plan.
And give us a comparison as far as where we stand with other places now. I mean, we know what the facility's costing us. It'd be nice to see what other people's water is costing them.
I want to say we were the highest when you go to standalone, water and sewer. Don't try and compare us to in a council.
No.
Yeah, I had gone through and looked up online and tried to compare it as much as you can based on how it goes.
We can share it again, it'd be awesome, if it's not a hardship, but thank you. Thank you.
the other question I had was about the potentially dangerous dog registration, dangerous dog registration, how that's determined. It is a state statute. For anyone else interested, it is statute 347.50, and there's subdivision 2 and 3 that give you a list of, all right. So that's the only question I had. With that, we will entertain a motion to approve ordinance 324, amending section 291 of the city code regarding the fee schedule. We have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Bauer. Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by Councilmember Robinson. It's the ordinance. We'll do a roll call.
Mayor Muehlbauer,
Aye.
Councilmembers Bauer,
Aye.
Ludwig. Aye. Creflo. Aye. Robinson.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll move on to item B, 2023 COLA.
Mayor and council, before you tonight is the authorization for, or request for the 2024 COLA for the non-union cost of living. We discussed this back in June when we had our meeting on the budget. At that time, it was decided it would be a 3%. So this moved forward for that approval. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Rob?
No, I don't have any questions. Just to let our residents know how we come up with the 3% COLA. We do have, labor unions that have already settled their contracts, into the following years. So it's pretty typical to, marry the same rate to our, for our non-union and our union staff, so. I'm ready with it.
Thank you. Crystal?
I don't have any questions. Rob had already answered about the pattern, so that was the only thing I had.
Kevin?
I have no questions, Mayor.
And Sarah?
No questions.
All right, with that, we will entertain a motion to approve the 3% COLA for the non-union employees. We have a motion.
Make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Udvig. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
second by Councilmember Krecklo, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item C, administrative captain hybrid position.
Mayor and Council, before you tonight is the continued conversation from our work session in regards to an administrative captain hybrid position with administration. As we discussed on October 30th, this would be a shared position between administration of City Hall and the fire department. The position would be starting at a grade 10 and would be exempt, not qualifying for overtime. The budget I outlined for 20 and 24 and 25, however, with the not hiring a seasonal or the part-time assistant chief, other contracts, those 2 years were put specifically, but it is not intended that it is ending at 25. So I know there was a little bit of discussion that night about, 2 years, but we have the funding to go forward. This position would be posted internally. First, we're looking to post it right away so we can get someone on board quickly, as we are losing our part-time assistant chief at the end of the year. And this position would be working a Tuesday through Friday, 10-hour-a-day schedule. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions along with Chief Schmidt.
Crystal?
So I had several questions. I did sit down today with Keith and kind of, and I asked those questions that I Dave, son of a biscuit. My apologies to everyone.
You're both bald.
So anyways, I did have several questions that I had asked about, we had talked about, the new state statute or state law that went into effect about the 1 hour for every 30, and what that would look like, and, how much time and energy and how many hours that, the seasonal had worked, how many hours that the assistant chief had worked, and then kind of like how you marry those two together. And they were able to answer a lot of the questions I had with, Dave taking more of those higher level roles and more of the administrative stuff going to this hybrid one. So, I don't actually have any questions. They answered them for me very nicely. Long story short.
Rob?
As everyone knows, I have a lot of experience in this field. I still can't get to marrying these two positions together. A city with a population of 80,000 is far from needing 2 full-time fire people. So my biggest question is, and I've read the job description, that this would be a position that's not authorized overtime. But my question is to Dave, how does this person get his percentages to be qualified when that person's not able to do overtime? That's my biggest question. I would have no desire, other than my 40 hours a week, to make any fire calls being in this position. Because there's no way for you to keep up your retirement quantities, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's my biggest question on that. The other one is having a degree for a clerical person just baffles me. And then if all that goes away, we're looking at 40% less work for yourself. That translates to a lot less work for this other individual. So for those reasons, I sound like the tank. I can't get on board with this at all. Not that I'm seeing we're not going in that right direction, because of, if our population grows, if we get more development, of course, I am pro EMS and social services for our residents, but this city can't afford 10 full-time firefighters. It's just, you have to use logic, and with the experience that I have, I just can't get there. with this position.
Thank you.
I have a real question, and I'm glad to see that, well, first of all, we've worked on this for a little while, especially the last profession, we really made it out quite a bit. I think our fire department has been looked up to, because the community reached out to us to help their fire departments, whether for, depreciation or depletion services, or just disarray and, unorganization. But I think a strong foundation for future regionalization of fire services is coming. And we have a good product, we have a good foundation, which she's approved, piece of fire as part of the city, and actually use the services in the past. I think it's well worthwhile. As far as the administrative side, again, at the first session, I said, these people don't sit around and keep, I shouldn't say these people, administration doesn't sit around like, oh, how can I make my life easier? Even though I make a reasonable salary and I'm doing a day's work, and, they wouldn't put it before us if it wasn't necessary. Again, we'll pay the price if we might get reelected. They wouldn't pay the price because they'll still have a job not done. But, all the facts and stuff that's been put in front of us in the past to make a good, solid decision, whether they be voting yes or voting no. I think the criteria they've given us has been very good, and I feel strong about this. I know the department been involved in a lot of the fire meetings for the last almost year and a half for Bethel, and then now then we're going into our third year now with Nelson, and hopefully our fourth year. Thank you. So aside from that, the icing on the cake for me is we're here for the people. We work for the people. We're enhancing our building and services for the people, and now the building will be on Fridays for the people, whether it be for a dog call or a permit or whatever. I talked to the city employees in St. Francis, and they get questions from that. I try to go to the city, but it's closed on Friday. It's nobody's fault. I don't care about the past. I try to look for the future. I think it's great. We're a full service organization. That's what we're here to do. I think it's a great compromise. We explore our day. A lot of the work environment is changing. People are working from home. They can chat over and get some, take care of some city business, pay their stormwater bill, or get a building permit, or get a question answered. But I think this is a positive thing in the right direction. I'm all for it.
Sarah?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time at our work session discussing this, and, I know that Kate and Dave spent a lot of time figuring out how this could work, talking to other people too. And I think this is like Kevin said, it's just a good way to kind of move in that right direction. We have a meeting in the fire department, and we have a great meeting over at City Hall, and I think this is like a great way to start bridging the gaps that we're having.
Thank you. I think this is a move in the right direction for a couple of different reasons. I don't know if the public has seen the work session information that we had, but we asked all departments to give us a wish list basically of what they think they're going to need over the next 10 years. The result was pretty jaw-dropping, I guess, so to speak. I think Dave wanted a full-time assistant chief. He's not getting that, so he's not getting what he wants. He was also looking at a part-time with benefits assistant helper, so to speak, administrative helper. She's not quite getting what she wants, but I think she's getting more of what we want anyway. But I think too, it's when everybody's equally unhappy too, that's one thing where you gotta kind of try to make a compromise. To me, I think this is more of a compromise. While I am not for a full-time assistant chief, I am for providing the city with needs of the service that we're here to provide. Time can be questionable. Again, we're looking at moving forward with Vista with if when they do come, and that's another issue that I have, is the timing of everything. We've been counting on a lot of development for a lot of time, we haven't got it yet. We need development too to support these positions, but it sounds like Vista is moving in the right direction again. I'm not gonna say they're coming because of Delaware and Brown. I've heard a lot of things over the years that haven't come to fruition yet. But I think too, by moving forward with some of the things we discussed in the work session with them, they're gonna create a bigger need as well for our fire department. I think we have to give them the tools to be able to do that. I think too, with right now, they're, looking at extending their contract. We haven't seen anything yet. I did tune into the Bethel fire meeting or city council meeting. And it looks like they, maybe moving towards getting this too. So to me, it's a compromise. Rob, I know your fear is too that we're moving towards more of a full-time department. I don't feel that way. I think that I can see what you're looking at, but I would have to disagree on some of that because it all depends on who's sitting here, everyone when that comes to fruition. My biggest question is what happens if we, so we do things now then, or whatever happens, and then we do all this, what's gonna happen? But for me, I still think it's moving in the right direction to provide our citizens with what they need. It's more of a compromise to me, to not, what was Steve's term? Give them a world or whatever, but that's just one of the things for me. I think that it's moving in the right direction. So that's my take on it. We're not getting what they want necessarily, but we are making compromise and hopefully still provide the services needed to the residents, is my take on it. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the administrative cabinet hire position. Motion by Councilmember Freclo, do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Udvig. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Nay. Motion carries 4-1. And we'll move to City Hall, public business hours.
Mayor, council, for you tonight, from the conversations of the new hybrid position came the ongoing conversation of the Fridays. We had discussed opening City Hall on Fridays from 7 to 11, January 2nd, if we've got volunteers. I have 2 hourly staff that are willing to try it. The one thing that I continue to come back with is if this isn't working, I will be back. We'll have this new hybrid person. We have 2 that are willing to give it a try and see how this goes. We do have a building official there that is in and does some limited office time and in-person inspections. So City Hall will be busy on Friday mornings. This would be to set the new hours Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5:30 p.m., Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., starting on January 2nd. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Rob?
I don't have any questions, about the hours. I am for, providing a Friday time for residents. How that looked, for a long time was that we have to reduce the number of hours that we had Monday through Thursday to make up for those times. I'm okay with trying to do this up until 11. A lot of times you make decisions and pretty much you have to live with your decisions. So I'm pretty much stuck on this. If this is the way we're gonna go, we're gonna be open every Friday and we'll just have to make it work. That's my take on it. So.
Thank you, Sarah.
Well, I don't have any questions, but I'm very happy to see us expand to Friday. As several people comment and ask me about it, and this again, it's not giving the whole day, but it's giving our residents that we have a lot of people who don't work on Fridays, and it's very convenient for them to pop up to see how on Friday. So I'm hoping this will kind of help them with their situation.
Thank you. Crystal?
I don't really have any questions on it. I kind of, when I originally heard about this, I asked, has there been an outcry about having a Friday? And the answer was no. But, in looking at the position we just created and hearing that staff want, the potential for that Friday, I don't have an issue.
I'm excited about it. I'm glad it's happening. This particular schedule we're proposing is mimicking Zimmerman schedule currently. Other than that, there are 6 major communities around us, Elk River, Ham Lake, et cetera. They're all doing 80 for 35 days a week. To me, again, it's all about service. I appreciate Kate wanting to leave it open that we're gonna try it. I want to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude that two individuals have asked that they'll step up and do it. Again, we're gonna have another official come aboard that can counter out. I hate that as Rob, but we're committed. I want to stay committed. We're building a $13 million building. And it should be open on Friday, so if something goes do city business that they need to do, or they, again, whatever we need, whatever we have to offer, it should take place, and I think this is a great thing. Thank you.
I think it's, I mean, the service provider having another day is bad. Kind of crystal on this one, we're with the outcry, to a point. I think the service provider, more time you can be available to them. I always wonder with people like, shops on open, so to speak, they're open from 8 to 4, and I wonder how they stay in business, but apparently there's people that can make it there and they can generate revenue, so I think most people work those hours, but to me, I don't know, it works out for people, and, I guess we can provide, more service or better services. So with that, I will, entertain a motion to, update the city hall hours.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Ross, do we have a second? I'll second. Second by Councilmember Power, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Opposed? Meeting open to the public, second time, do we have anybody that wants to speak?
Hi.
If you want to step up to the podium and then state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Steve Rowland.
Yeah, please.
257 Charles Street Northwest, St. Francis. I'm a resident council and a senior. I am here to get my school report. Our student council has just returned from Ukraine, which we earlier today. On this trip, we learned about how to be leaders and the importance of saying yes and jumping at opportunities. We also talked to other councils about their ideas and what we implement at our school. In the months of November and December, we have events such as food drive, community night, and snow days a week. Our multicultural student union club, we host some craft sessions for Indigenous Peoples Month, which is November this month. A display for fun media, which is also this month, and activities for the celebration of Kwanzaa, which is in December. More information will be coming out about these events and upcoming reports. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Reports. Go to council member reports. Sarah.
I attended, work sessions on the 17th and 15th. And I just want to confirm Paul Parks is having our first meeting on November 16th at 6 at our public works. So I'm really excited to get that committee up and going, and I look forward to what we can do for our community.
Well, we had a work session, so happy to report that. The school is, side note, Independent School District 15 has a vote tomorrow, November the 7th. They are asking for, school funds, for a levy. Levy is for learning and bonds are for buildings. They will tell you that. So get out and vote. Your taxes will be going up a substantial amount if this is passed. That's all through the school website. You can look it up. They did actually post it. So get out and vote, yay or nay, whatever you decide. What I found out was the school district voter approval to extend it for another 10 years, the school board can just extend. So, get out and vote.
That was another one. So they passed that to Tuesday.
So, work session, I met with Kate and Dave today. Sorry, to just, to talk about a few different things, answer questions answered. I do have it on my list to work over about some budget stuff, I just haven't sent those emails out yet. I am looking forward to the vote tomorrow. I understand that, a potential for a tax increase. But, yes or no, with our kids. So but other than that, I really don't. I think that was the gist of my.
I also attended the work session again. It's really fruitful. It's fun and fun. Is the right word. We kind of ship all stuff. We can talk open and candidly and come other than the street closed and whatnot. But they last quite a bit long in some of our meetings as of late. But we do a lot done. And I don't mind it all. It's well worthwhile. I want to thank the public works for the Halloween deal, the trunk or treat. That was an exceptional turnout. I know you guys were ecstatic, and the volunteers, like you had, like you said, people that want to come forward and help out. City staff, not people, but the city staff that on their time came on and dressed up and whatnot, and it was done very well. I thought it was, it should be an annual thing. You guys should be all come in and pass it down. I don't have a while to go, but. Also attended the Bethel City Council meeting last Thursday to talk about the fire contract with us, and they did decide on the chief provided them 4 forms. Again, August of 22 was when we first started these meetings. It was every Wednesday, one Wednesday a month since August. And it's been around more, and it comes to a point where the neighbor needs help, and we're going to help them. They don't have enough in the community, enough individuals that want to keep the fire department going. And this is the way of the future. There's other fire departments around the state. What they say at a meeting, there was at least 4, 5 at this time. They're just dissolving. We're done. They've already called the fire marshal and said, as of in 30 days, we are out here. And so the equipment sits idle. People are stranded. I mean, some of the service calls that they were banning, talking about, were up to 42 minutes or something. You're on, and again, this is out on hinterland, but still, it's coming around. Firefighters are hard to find, and the experience of people have things going on, and then the youth aren't stepping. When I say youth, anywhere from 18 to 30, they're not stepping up, or not. They have no desire to be part of this congregation, which is really disheartening. But it's still a needed service, and I think when it's all said and done, St. Francis will be a model to look at, and whether the chief's here or not, or neighbors here or not, it just makes more sense to combine resources and save the taxpayers' money and do it the right way. But so that's a good thing. We're going forward with that. Then Recycle Day. I think I have one more meeting for Recycle Day, but November 18th, 8 to noon is Recycle Day. The Public Works building again. Again, you can go to our website and see the stuff items that they're taking. It's a good time to do the last one cleanup for snow flies and bury everything that you've been looking at. Going, I should have done something about it. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I did both work sessions as well. One for sure via Zoom. I did tune into the Bethel city meeting. It was interesting watching it, kind of listening. Sounds like good news for moving forward. I think eventually we're going to have a fire district of some sort. I've spoken to other council members and mayors about emergency services. Some of the surrounding cities kind of here and there, nothing crazy or official or anything moving forward. But I think too, you're getting that same feeling as well as the state fire marshals too in those meetings that we have with Bethel, where they talk about the lack of interest in getting more firefighters recruited too. I think it'll be a huge challenge in the future to come forward for a lot of smaller cities, such as everybody in our area, whether it's now and Bethel, Oak Grove, as well as us. So that's also another, for me, that's also another positive thing to move forward with this position. It gives us a little bit of flexibility too there. But other than that, I think that's all I have to report. I would like to thank Public Works as well for holding that event. Sorry I couldn't be here. I think it would be cool. But with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I ask one question here?
Absolutely.
We have some people in the audience. Did you want to see any of those on the agenda? I know it's a couple you might have arrived late. Was there any you were concerned with or needed to council about?
Yeah. I'm the owner of the.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot either, but I just know you came in late and we had some stuff we're gonna take care of, so just trying to give you an opportunity.
There's, 23462 in First Avenue.
Mayor, again, I'm not, we can probably hear it, but I saw it there.
I don't know what we can do since we already kind of went through this on the agenda. I don't know. We had a public hearing. Is there anything we can do at this time to what we're open or what?
So Mayor and Council, maybe we begin with, if they would like to speak and see maybe what their requests or even a conversation is before we.
Okay. Go ahead and step up to the podium, and give your, name and address, please. Everything's officially taking place, I don't want to break the rules and everything, so that's why I should have asked her. But go ahead.
All right, Frank Tilley, 23462 University Avenue. Basically, I got this letter saying that I have like a $9,000 fine, and this is the first I'm hearing about this. So, the packet that I got the other day, there's a bunch of, certified members, a bunch of, things to know, but it's not a an address. So, I'm not even sure, like, how this is even like really fair.
So you're the owner of that, it wasn't sent to your home address, is what you're saying? Because you live in Ramsey, right?
No,
You live in, okay,
I live in Bethel.
Bethel. I'm not sure how I'm going to move forward with this at this time. One of the consulting attorney, given we kind of went through official proceedings earlier in the meeting, with the public hearings and whatnot, so I want to check with legal to make sure we're all above board with anything that we go forward with, I guess.
Mayor and council, you did go through the public hearing and proceedings. The council wants to revisit that. We have to do that by motion. And then you have to let us know in terms of what you would like to talk about. My understanding is that for the city's process, the property owner was served with notice. He's indicating that he's not received it. But if he's got more information, we can certainly take a look at that.
I'll make the motion. I mean, we live in a full transparent council, and we've always prided ourselves on, we listen to everybody, and we hardly get anybody to come to the meeting, so I'm glad gentlemen's come forward, whether the communication's been delayed in any fashion, he's here now. It's open dialogue rather than just words here, going like this. Talking to human beings is awesome, so I think we entertain it and open the discussion. Nothing will be resolved tonight, maybe, but at least you're here, and I appreciate that.
So motion by Councilmember Robbins, do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Bauer, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, we reopen the public hearing. Right. Sorry, carry on.
I got the first letter I received just a couple weeks ago, and I was stating that I thought I was fine, but it didn't tell me what this fine was for or anything like that. And then this packet that I got was just, I just received that a couple days ago, and so I was like, well, I better read it, so. It's not really, to me, it doesn't seem fair that I wasn't even, nothing was ever taken to my door, nothing, I haven't had a phone, so I haven't had anything on my address or anything like that.
I don't know if staff wants to address that, or if we go with this, I guess.
Yeah, so I can speak to this a little bit. So I'm Colette Bonker, the Community Development Director, and code enforcement and those sorts of things are within my department. We did visit the property in August, and actually we did put something on the door at that point in time, and we, to my knowledge, have mailed the citations both to the owner address as listed in the Anoka County property records and to the property address. So I
haven't received this.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, mail can be kind of a funny thing, but they were sent to both of those addresses. We have also attempted to contact you via the phone number, that's posted on the property.
I don't have any posts on property.
Okay,
And
yeah, there is a sign on the gate that indicates a phone number, that we've attempted to contact, but, obviously have not been able to make contact, so I'm happy to see that you're here this evening. And we can discuss a process moving forward on how to, clean up the property, and, do you feel like you have an understanding of the different notices that are within those citations in terms of the vehicles on the property and?
I understand the vehicle on the property and that stuff picked up, I agree that, you know, but I mean, living in a RV thing, like, I don't even have an RV on my property. I mean, I haven't had one there since like, I think it's like, probably the first week of June, something like that. And using the property for, whether it's business use of property or having not having a rental agreement, like, I don't have renters. I'm not sure rent for every saying, man. So I'm not, just curious how can you find for something that I'm not doing?
Yeah, so those, are all fines that, so basically the way the process works is that, we, as city staff, receive a notice of some sort of complaint, that has different items within it. And then we send out a notice, at that point in time, issuing the items that were received within that complaint. And then if we don't receive any input from the property owner at that point in time, then we do move forward with citations based on the complaint that we received. And so it is true, we haven't been able to verify via conversation with you some of the items that are on the citation. And so it can be sort of council's discretion this evening for some of the items that have not been able to be verified to remove some of the fines for those. And discuss what that process would be moving forward. We can also set up a time to discuss a plan to clean up the property, if you would like to do that as well.
I started picking up when I got the first received notice of any of this, you know, but like, this is kind of extreme after just receiving this a couple days ago, you know.
Makes sense, yeah, so, yeah, we have attempted contact in the past, obviously it was not effective, so I'm happy to, see you here tonight and sort of we can talk about what the process can be moving forward in terms of what fine may remain on the property or, whether or not that's sort of the course of action.
When did you first receive notice that you're saying that?
Like I said, the first thing that I received was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that, stating that I had a $9,000 fine, but they didn't tell me what for. I didn't go there, it was just, probably this week that I got it.
So what stopped you from coming into the city hall and saying, hey, what the heck is this?
I don't have a license,
Okay.
I'm just trying to find a ride, because they're not going home. Makes life a little bit difficult sometimes.
I'll say, part of my frustration is that I know staff's been continually trying to reach out to the property owner, which is you apparently. It bothers me that I'm not a huge like stickler for all this. I think personally, I mean, if you guys want to talk about things, we can get the situation remedy. That's a huge plus. I think that you know, you find like Rob mentioned earlier with the fee schedule and stuff. It's not for the city to try to gouge it out or try to get rich out of it. It's to cover staff time and basically recoup those costs of that. Everybody in this room that lives in the city isn't paying for their staff time to take a look at your property if it's not up to par. So that's one of the things that gets me is I know we have reached out several times and I don't know. I mean,
I'm almost always home, and I haven't had, I mean, there's been one time that I've heard it knock on the door, I haven't gotten an answer, you know.
Okay. So. All right,
I'm assuming that the mailings have been going to this Ramsey address then, correct?
So the certified mail has been going to the Ramsey address because that's where the owner, the property owner, is located, which is kind of an interesting thing. with the
I
property
haven't
owner.
been there in 8, 9 years.
So,
Changing my license and everything, you know, I just shouldn't move out here.
so I would recommend getting that updated. I don't really know how that paperwork can happen or not happen, but, the owner address is in a property record is located in Ramsey. But with every mailing, that was sent, we did send one to the address in Ramsey and one to the, address here in, St. Francis as well.
And how come that every single one of these things that I got, that shows everything I received, shows the Ramsey address?
We did not certify it to the home in,
Well, I never, I
in St.
never
Francis.
seen it. I never seen it.
Well, we have nothing to set up as a valid
And my other question was that with the response that we got, there was a phone number that was listed to call, and staff did call and leave messages on that number. Still, I mean, when we're given a number to call, we're kind of expecting that somebody's going to respond, I guess. So staff has called and left messages, or at least a message on the number that we provided in a letter. And we still wasn't answering, it still wasn't communicating with the staff, so that's concerning me.
Anything else?
Well, basically, this is a trial, and you're not on trial, I'm playing the game, and we've done this for other property owners, there's a lot of stuff in your yard that makes your neighbor's yards look bad. And we're concerned about everybody, you know, I'm a personal property right, I live to the dying day. But there's, I mean, we still have pictures and stuff of what's out there. Again, it's property values and what your neighbors, health and well-being, and whatever you do inside your house, your business. If it's on the outside, it's causing, can cause, you know, a migration of critters or whatever, or you're conducting a business without a license, or that's when the city gets involved. Not because we want it, but the citizens pay for the right to have their place looking just as nice. We've had other people with other situations going on, we come and approach them and say, how can we help you, what is their problem, with their family issues, whatever. So again, you're not on trial, but we found out that some correspondence has been missing each other, you didn't get it for whatever reason. We sent it to the right places by the information given us by the county. So I think both of you know, we've done our part, you obviously did your part by coming here tonight, because you finally got some correspondence. How it goes forward, I have ventured to guess $9,000. Again, never acts up so fast. We had some here 2 years ago, and it got crazy nuts. And we made some arrangements and some allotments there. But since you came, how do we go forward and get some dialogue and you know, honest communication? I don't know how, if you can get make an honest appointment and arrive at that appointment and sit down and just talk about it like we're doing right now. That's where it all starts, really. And as far as the money in, we'll let that settle. If progress looks good, you know, we'll make some changes on that regard. We're glad you're here. It's time for some open dialogue, and if you make some of the appointments and make them, awesome, then we'll move forward. Your neighbors will be happy, your yard will look cleaner. Everybody in the property will stay up, and everybody will be happy.
Well, I think one thing that we look forward to, good to take an effort to move forward at least, but, what do we got?
So Mayor and Council, so first I want to verify with Darcy that we have until November 30th to identify with the county, correct? So we have one additional meeting with council before the deadline for the county for these assessments. What my recommendation would be to continue this individual's assessment until the next council meeting, contingent upon a meeting with staff prior to the November 15th deadline, which is our packet deadline for that next meeting.
Okay.
If it is accurate that there are not some of these situations happening on the property, we could reduce it. I can't guarantee we can reduce it all, because these efforts, these costs, these inspections, and these door visits, phone calls, they have happened. Staff is visiting, and we're paying for that. The residents are paying for that. So can we look at the greater fee and see if there's some of these that we can back on. But then if we can get some type of an access agreement and, get a commitment to really get the end goal, which is to have the property cleaned up, not the fines, prior to that November 15th deadline, then you would have a second opportunity for that second on the next meeting of November 20th. So.
You understand what that means,
Not
I
that
have a question.
but
So, and it sounds like we're looking at, moving this assessment potentially to the next meeting. Is this phone number you provided in your letter, is that current? Is that something staff can reach out to you with?
I'm not even sure on this.
Okay,
You can get that. Yeah. I'll just sort of confirm that.
okay, yeah, so after the conversation, if you can connect to give them a current phone number for you. And then my question for us is I heard you say you have the phone and you have the driver's license or transportation. How will that work for us, for you? for you guys to be able to connect, there's going to be a viable phone number. Is the conversation via phone enough, or does it need to be in person to really sit down and go through, like, here all of the things that we're seeing in these pictures, and work out a plan to get it cleaned up in a timely manner? Is that something you can do in a phone call, or is that something that needs to be in person, sit down? Because that's my other concern, is I don't want transportation or driver's license to be a hindrance to that either.
I think in person might be almost required.
Okay, so that's what I'm
With the pictures and stuff, I mean, that we've seen, I think it's great, to make sure to understand everything that's going on there in the property. And what we're asking, I would think in person would be better, but
Does that mean your staff go to his property, or he has to find a way back to town? I'm just asking, it's up to you. It's what I see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I would say our preference would be if it would be possible for you to come to City Hall, then that would, do you have access to be able to find transportation for a scheduled meeting? Or-
And as long as I can come on time, so then, yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah, so yeah, we can discuss tonight or what that time would look like, because we have to, so, to find a time that works for both of us, so.
I like it, we want to be as fair as possible, but that's like one of the things that I bring up is the cost of things does add up, and it's one of those things that's not fair for everybody. We hate the assessment, the council, Steve went through this every year, he tells you how much we hate doing that part of the job, because we're not out to get rich here, we're out to be fair and just make sure that those costs are covered so that everybody else isn't paying for somebody else's issues, so to speak. So I'm glad that you're here, I'm glad that we can, hopefully we can get a phone number and move forward. But you gotta make a good faith effort to move forward. If we don't see that, then nothing will probably change. So we'd love to see a good faith effort, we're glad you're here now, and move forward with that, I guess. So with that, I will entertain a motion to continue this particular assessment. Do I need to state everything?
Is to continue the special assessment proceeding, in regard to the property located at 2462 University Avenue, extension northwest.
I'll make that motion. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Hudson. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. So they'll be in touch with staff, and we'll continue that, go forward. So looking forward to seeing you next meeting, I guess. So, I guess with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion here.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bauer, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned at 7:12.